Okay, perfect.
Yes, please.
So majority of the alerts that we're having, let's say more than half of them are related to servers monitoring, network monitoring. So it's more for DevOps in general, but it's good to know, like if a client report that we have an issue or the platform is going very slow, here we can get some indications. For example, here one nodes have very high CPU. That was yesterday. That didn't affect directly because our system is in the cloud and majority of our servers are auto scaling. So we have some we can have some alerts. Sometimes they not generate a direct issue, but if those issues repeat many times, then we should have a look at that. But this is more like, I will say, more for the DevOps team than in general. So the first alert criticals, yeah, CPU based, RAM and disk based. Then we have. I'm gonna go through all all the errors, all the alerts. If you think that you have a question, please stop me, and I will ask. Can ask your question. So after we have warnings. Warnings is more. To be honest, I'm not an expert on those ones. They are more about server monitoring. So, for example, this one, I'm not sure what is exactly what is the issue. That's something like more Adria on our side, which is monitoring this. They should not create a direct issue, but as well, it's good to know that how the Kubernetes or our system are up and working on this. Then we go to the API throttle. In this case, in US, we didn't put any throttling. We have, if I remember, we have a limitation of 500 requests to our API per minute per IP. So if someone is trying to send much more API requests, first they're going to receive, of course, an API that an error that is throttling blockage. There's more security and health limitation, because if someone by error, for example, is sending millions of requests in low amount of time, it can put it down the system or the API and will affect other clients. So we decide to have a throttling request monitoring and throttling. Basically, if I check in EU, for example, I think we have more example. So, for example, on this one, this client is trying to get a specific custom field many times, and we have blocked it. We have the IP and the client account that is affected. So, so yeah, we can monitor that here. Anyway, the client should handle those errors when you receive it. Is clearly notified to the client, so they should know it. But as well, we have a vision here of who is making those requests and what endpoint they're attacking down. And as well, we're throttling just for specific endpoints. For example, for the SendRes, we remove any limitation. So SendRes can send as many requests as needed. And I guess because we know it's going to be high traffic there and we don't want to block any data coming to us. App alerts. Let me remember this. Yeah, so this is more everything related to the Ruby on Rails app to make sure that we have everything up. We have some issues beginning of the week with the landings, some specific requests for clients. We're creating some issue, but we have been working on it and solved it. I was not part of it, but Christian and Andrea did look at it. It was just a specific landing page that was creating the error. After we have another alert about campaigns. So there is some time when we have to stop a campaign for any reason. We put it here. Okay, for example, this one, the Bay Garden Resort, they cannot send more campaigns because, and this for sure is an automation, or because they don't have enough credits. We need this decline need to be reviewed. That was more than 2 months ago, so for sure that was already handled. But this is a good place to check. Okay, it was an issue with the campaign. Is that was a credit issue or so on. Mainly this because this client was in trial mode and they still didn't activate the account, and then it didn't have the capacity to send without any balance, basically, or credits. The campaigns. Every time that a client sends a campaign, we can see it here. So this is sometimes useful to review what was the traffic with the campaigns, how much campaigns have been sent recently. I mean, this one it's good to have an overview, but to check like every day, it doesn't make sense because it's a lot of campaigns that's sent every day by our clients. So just sometimes it's good to come back and see, okay, we have a lot of traffic, which clients, a quick view, no? We don't have to query the database. For example, if we see a client who's trying to send 1 million emails, we can see it easily here. And then we can see, okay, this specific client is creating a lot of traffic and so on. So it's more informative than anything else, but sometimes it can be useful to have a quick overview of the traffic of the campaigns. Then we have warnings or errors from Sunrise integration. So, for example, here as well, quick overview of what's happening. We can see that this client, Hard Rock Hotels, is trying. Well, that's more trying the Sunrise, but Sunrise is trying to create a reservation to a property that doesn't exist. So we block it and we make sure that we are not we decide on our side to don't save any information for a property that doesn't exist, just to make sure that that we don't have data that we don't want, basically. And here is showing up, but as well, it could be other type of errors that we detected, and we can easily see here what's happening. So that as well is informative, but it's good to have a check here of what's happening, or someone have done a test. I did this test, it didn't show up. Maybe it shows here, and we have not taken this request in consideration in Sentinel CRM because of this error, basically. Any questions so far? Okay, so let's continue.
I have a question on that one, actually. Sorry.
Yeah.
Those errors, the Sunrise integration, this would show up in the streaming queue of Sunrise, like a request that is here that has, let's say, property does not exist. Is this record going to show up in Sunrise streaming queue, but not in Sunrise request data collection of MongoDB? Or will it show up in MongoDB?
In Sentinel CRM?
Yes.
Yeah, in MongoDB. That's
like one question. Of these would this be on one side but not on the other because it got blocked here? Because I know there was a big issue where the property not exist issue was showing up for some messages, and so I was wondering if that would express itself as I can see it in the Senres streaming queue table, so I know that Senres sent it, but then I'm not able to find it in Senres request data collection. I just want to make sure that I
Yes.
understand.
So what will happen here, and I'm not sure 100%, but 90% is we receive the data from Senres. We save it under the collection of Senres request data, and then it is queued and will be processed. And once it's processed from the queue, here it will trigger the error. Okay, this property doesn't exist, so I don't save it as a reservation in Senantium. But the raw data from Senres will exist, and I can see here the ID. So
I see. Okay. That's a CCRM ID. Got it.
Yeah. So that's the Senres request data. That is saved here. Yeah. So yeah. Deploys when we deploy anything. This is tracked here for the US. We have this for every environment, for the EU, for the QA, staging, and pre. We have all this. Doesn't mean if a message show here, doesn't mean the new code has been pushed, but sometimes we just build a branch. And then here we have the service. This is the company service. We have received a change, and so on. And here, for example,
sorry,
hi, Sebas.
I muted.
Yes, please.
About the other question from Sean, I checked the code, and maybe the alerts here are when we don't receive data from Senres. Okay, when we receive data, all the data are in the logs shown in the collection data. But these alerts are when we don't receive data from Senres for one property in particular. Okay. I checked the goal, Sean.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben.
Okay, thank you, Sebas. So deploys, everything happening with deploys, builds, basically. So this is connected to our Jenkins, our CI tool. Then the errors that we are tracking. So we use a tool which is called Sentry. I think I have it here. So Sentry, we can see basically this is more error related to the code, Ruby on Rails code. So for example, a functionality didn't work because it was missing data or didn't pass validations, or the code is breaking, or we have 500 errors. We directly track it into Sentry. Yeah, it's a very good tool to see, okay, we have 500, and here it tells us why, what part of the code is failing, and it's very, very useful tool to see everything that's happening, and at whole level, front end, back end, different services, external pages, metrics, API SDK. So we have an internal metrics API for the web SDK that some clients use, front ends, the workers, if we have some errors in the workers, API. So this gives a good overview, and it points you exactly where the error is. For example, we had in our queue, just to take an example, we had an issue with, we had some delay with a specific queue that was getting a long time. For example, that was room Z. I think, John, you opened a ticket. And this morning we reviewed that. Why is going so slow? No, I've been for 650 hours, so many days, and it's not going down. So we reviewed in Sentry. We found the log, and basically it was an index that would need to be created into Mongo to make it the query faster. So thanks to Sentry and New Relic as well, we were able to detect the issue and fix it this morning with this. So yeah, so let's come back to this. So yeah, some error connection, that was a timeout for a specific, and this case in importing a contact. So in Sentry, you can directly go and see the specific error what's happening. Integrations. So in PushTech, back in time, not having Sunrise, what we were doing, we were doing the integration ourselves on our side, and we were connecting to the partner or external services to get the information. And here we can track and see some error. For example, here, let me see, the one is the best because that was the cyclic shutdown because maybe the response from the other API, the external API, didn't answer in time. But this one, we have this error where cyclic find an error, you retry later, it doesn't lose it. But yeah, normally they all like timeout type of issues. You can see they're repeating with the same API when we're trying to contact to them. Hard bonds. Yeah, this is to track hard bonds when we have high level. This is not used anymore much. We use we have a tool in our admins. 1 second, I'm gonna go here. I think I already showed this one. I'm gonna go better. I'm gonna go. I have a bar that is blocking me. And here. Yeah, campaign check. So yeah, here we have like the campaign checks. For example, here we have a high. I don't know if you see the bars blocking here. So here, like when we have more than 1% hard bonds, we can track here. Like for example, Nottingham had a campaign of 3% of hard bonds and so on. So on this page, we can track directly the full list and it's easier to read. And if we want to resend and everything. So this is something that Heidi and Ruth are using quite a lot, or just to check and follow up to make sure that it's not a bigger issue or reputation issue with a client or a bad database, basically. So yeah, but here we were those errors is not used anymore. Pingdom. It is very important to track all our service. I say last week we had this a stability issue with the campaign service and landing pages. Adria and Christian directly work on it and take this and did the fix basically. So that's for example, on my side is where I get all the information because even is Pingdom who is doing this, Pingdom at least in less than a second, it tells you something is done. And with Slack, you directly get the notification and then it's much faster because as well, after he sent emails, Pingdom sent emails, but it took like 1 or 2 minutes before he sent you an email. So I think just to be aware of something happening, the notification of this Pingdom here is great for us. And we can know directly something happening, and we can directly jump on it. So this one is, on my side, one of the most important. And that's it. After is the same for all different environments. That's all the way we utilizing Slack as alerts, basically monitoring to help us. We don't have to follow all of them, but some of them, depending, like for example, the first one that presented is more for DevOps, so DevOps are more aware of the first ones. And after campaigns, Sunrise, deploys and everything is more at the developments level or support now. So that's it from my part. Any question on this?
Just for like confirmation on our end, you know, at the end of the day, this is really still just like a visibility tool for us to help us kind of identify issues. And it's not something as far as like, okay, now you're responsible for these specific channels and making sure these alerts get brought to the right person's attention or highlighted. Like this is still just more about visibility. Is my understanding that correctly?
Yeah, exactly. So the let's say the problem that we have is we're using several different tools to monitor things. And for example, we have Pingdom. We're using, let's see if I'm connected. We have Sentry. We have Teleport, which has different tools. We have Grafana, Elastic monitoring. So we didn't have like a single place where we could see what's happening, seeing the health or visibility. And that's why we integrate with Slack to make sure that in one place we can have an overview. No, but I don't think it's the best way. For example, we propose already since 2 years, we were looking to move into Datadog, which have all the tools in one. We could have monitored everything in Datadog, but because of budget and DevOps is still trying to find a tool to have like a general monitoring, we don't move yet. I know this can be moved into Hubgenie, but if we have one down, for example, it's going to go to Hubgenie, it's going to go to a team, it's going to be reviewed, but before it's pushed to the right person, it can take some time. When here, we directly, the few people that have access to those alerts, okay, something is done. Let's sit and review together. I'm talking in the next 30 seconds. Like if something is done now, I will drop the call now and I will jump with the right people to try to solve this. So bring us agility, but yeah, it's just visibility and it's not the best tool, but at least it's one tool to put everything together and have an overview.
And should we request to join the Sentry piece as well?
So Sentry, yeah, you can have access. I mean, for you is 2 points. I mean, this is a great tool. Sentry is an amazing tool. It's a lot of noise as well, a lot of noise. But sometimes, like for the biggest issue, like the 500 errors, thing like that, this is the place to see what's happening. So for you, Sentry, I think yeah, it makes a lot of sense to get access to.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, and then yeah, maybe we can do another call very specific to Sentry to train you. Take an example. For example, you need to find the right service. Where is the error from? And when you understand how it works or is organized, everything, then it's very easy to find the issue and point it out, and work with the developer to see the issue basically. So the cause and solution. So definitely a good one. And we have Grafana as well, but mean, it is more. Let me see. I'm blocked. I cannot. I have this bar blocking me. Sorry. Just another view. I'm not using it on my side. I'm not using it too much. The Grafana part, but it's where we have our dashboard. No, this one doesn't have dashboard yet. Sorry. One second. Yeah, we should have data here. Let me see if it's a specific dashboard. So this is more elastic monitoring. Yeah, all the graph. If we see, because we have another tool as well to. If I come back here, we did develop on our side like a check of the. Okay, now this bar here. The check of the Elasticsearch, see the CPU usage, the disk, the RAM, and so on. But we don't know if it was a big spike a few hours ago. So here, for example, you can see if we see like a massive CPU usage, like if we reach 100% or 90 each percent, then we can see, okay, that could be related to an issue that we detected yesterday or last night with Elasticsearch. But that's it. Ideally, again, like we wanted to have all those information in one place, which was Datadog. But we will have to wait for DevOps to come back with us with a specific tool. So yeah, but Sentry for now, I think is very good for you to access. Any other question?
One question slightly unrelated, but the developers option tab, is that US only instance or is that on both instances? Because I only see that on the US only for my access levels.
They are all, like for example, if I go in EU, also is I think is your role. Super admin role. Let me check. Put this back here. Okay, so yeah, upgrade support here. In here, and check super admin. You have tech support in one, and you are upgrade support. So that's why upgrade support, I think they have less overview. So I will have to put you as a tech support. I take a note and I do that.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of our
Those
support agents
roles,
are still upgrade
yeah.
support.
Yeah, yeah. See, you should be tech support here. Can someone, or I can copy here all the tech support and assign the same role in EU and then in APAC as well. I can do that. No problem.
Oh, thank you
I
so much.
can do that. Man,
You can do that? See if you
change
can
the
do
role.
it better for me. Yeah, change the role.
Yeah. Which person you chase and all of these meet, or which?
I mean, it looks like almost everyone that's in this
Sorry,
upgrade
who?
support role needs to be switched over.
Okay.
I can prepare you a list though if it would make things easier.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I also see Sumit on there. I don't think he needs tech support, but we'll make a list and we'll get it to you like now-ish.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm like to have 69's kind of super admin. I'm not a big fan of that. Something we're gonna review. We already talked with product to review or to give access rules, but it's clear for you that you should have tech support role type and have access to all the tools and developer options to have an overview. So yeah.
Okay, if you need Sean and Chase, after pass me a ticket and I can change the role.
Awesome. Yep, we'll do.
Perfect.
Thank you, Severus.
No, for nothing. You're welcome.
Anything else? I don't have much more on my side.
Perfect. I think then we'll have like 11 minutes to ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. Very informative.
I mean, that was quite simple, but yeah, I hope it's useful, and looking forward for the next training. I think, Aditya, can you point the Sentry training, and then as well, that would be good, access for them and the training. And
Perfect. I'll do that. So there's one that
and
will be
the Google
scheduled for
Console.
Tuesday, this coming Tuesday. Do you want to take the session the next week, or like, I think you're not available the next week, Ben. So maybe the next after.
No. And I mean, two more very important training that can happen without me. It don't need to be me. The Sentry and the Google Logs. Those were
Okay.
important. And I mean, Sentry, Mukesh can do it, and the console log. I'm not sure who can be the best. Maybe Sebastian, if you want to do a training about the Google Logs. That's one of the most powerful tools that we have, and I think Sebastian is using a lot. So if you feel, Sebastian, if you want to do the training about Google Logs, it would be great. What do you
Okay.
think?
Then next week's we can do that.
Perfect.
And
I'll-
think that they are more looking for tracing data from Senres. So if we can focus on that, maybe I'm wrong. If you want to give other information, but tracing data with Google Logs is a very powerful tool for detecting any issue.
Perfect.
Yes.
I'll get that one scheduled for the next week. We also have like on Tuesday, we have like a session for Mongo. Sentry, I'll set it with Mukesh. Perfect.
And then, and as well, we have Elasticsearch, maybe with Christian. Yeah. So we have few sessions, but I think the most important, yeah, but in order, Google Logs, Sentry, Elastic or Mongo first, and Elasticsearch. I think those 4 ones.
Yeah.
And are very important.
Okay, perfect.
Okay,
I'll
perfect.
schedule all that.
Thank you, Aditya.
So I guess that's it. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks all.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Thank you. Have a
Thanks,
good
man.
day. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Thanks all. Bye.
Good luck out there.